All right, let's get started with a quick warm up before we jump into total body today. Go ahead, bring those hands up overhead. We're just allowing that stretch, that reach to the ceiling. We're going to drop to the right. Back to center. Drop to the left. Center. Right. Back to center. Left. Back to center. We're going to drop it over. Allowing that upper body to hang. Feeling that stretch through that back side. You can get that slight shift in those hips, side to side. Good, allowing that head to drop just a little farther. And we're gonna bend those knees and drop into that crouch. We're gonna open up, open, open, using that elbow to push open that leg. Good. Go ahead and bring those hands to that floor, pop it back up. Slight hang there, roll it up. We're gonna get some shoulder shrugs at the top, some shoulder rolls, I should say. Big roll, good. We're gonna widen that stance. We're gonna reach. We're gonna open up that arm. Back to center, reach other side, open it up. Opening up as far as you can reach, center, reach. Back to center, reach opposite side, open it up. Back to center, roll it up. We're just gonna get some knee pulls. So pulling in that knee to that chest, drive it up. Drive, good. Pulling it, slight hold at the top. Good. All right, you can get some openers. So opening up those knees, get some openers, some jumping jacks, any other stretches you feel that body needs this morning. So for total body today, you are going to need dumbbells. I would say a variety of weights, anything probably from that 10 to 20 pound range, okay? So our format, we have a 60-second, 60-second, 30-second. We are going through that 3 times. First one, we have one dumbbell at that shoulder, one dumbbell hanging, okay? We're getting a squat, and then we curl switch at the top. Squat it, curl switch at the top. Second 60-second exercises. Dumbbells start down at those sides. We have a reverse lunge, right, left. At the top of that second reverse lunge, you have 2 front raises. Then your third exercise, you can drop to 1 heavy dumbbell. You're overhead, and we're marching. You have those overhead marches. Starting with that staggered rack, squat, curl, switch. Ready? And go. 60 seconds on the clock. 1 dumbbell's racked, 1 dumbbell is hanging. We have a squat. We curl switch at the top. Good. Squat it. Curl switch. So on that rack, that dumbbell's not resting on that shoulder, on that hang. That dumbbell's not just hanging, resting against that side. Keeping it loaded and keeping it off that body for 60 seconds. Good. Squat it, stand it, curl switch. You have 15 seconds. Then we're going into those 2 reverse lunges to 2 front raises. You should be able to lift a little heavier, just knowing that you only have 2 front raises at a time. Ready? And go. Switch. So we reverse lunge. Right, step to center, left, step to center, soft bend through those arms, front raise for 2. Making sure you control that front raise on the down. We are keeping that core engaged. You're not using that back, arching through that back to get that dumbbell up. Draw that core in, soft bend, up to those shoulders, slow and controlled down. Back to those 2 reverse lunges. You're getting a right reverse lunge, left reverse lunge into those 2 front raises. You have 15 seconds. From here, you have those overhead marches. And switch, 1 single heavy dumbbell overhead, 30 seconds. Slow and controlled, drive that knee up. Drive it, getting into that core. Drive, drive, good. And stop, dumbbell down. You have 20 seconds, shake it out. Grab a quick drink if you need one. All right, we're back to that curl, squat, curl, switch. Ready? 60 seconds on the clock and go. 1 dumbbell's loaded, 1 dumbbell's hanging. Squat it, stand it, curl, switch. Squat, stand, curl, switch. Good. Drop that butt, get that butt low, keep those eyes up. Shift those hips back, making sure that dumbbell stays off that shoulder and off that side body. You're not resting ever, keeping them out. You should be able to find the heavy within that weight for this first 60 seconds. You have 10 seconds. We go to those 2 reverse lunges to 2 front raises. In 3, 2, 1, switch. If you need to swap out dumbbells, swap them out quickly. Clock doesn't stop. 2 reverse lunges, step to center to 2 front raises. Slow and controlled on those front raises. Stepping it back to 2 reverse lunges, right into those 2 front raises. Core stays engaged. You're already over halfway there. Good. On those reverse lunges, keeping those feet hip width apart. On that step back, you have 10 seconds. We're bringing that dumbbell overhead, going into those overhead marches. And switch. Dumbbell overhead, drive that knee. Drive. Every time we drive that knee, we are engaging that core. That weight shifts from side to side. Recruiting that core. Every time you swap legs, every time you drive. And stop. Dumbbell down. You have about 20 seconds. We're back for our 3rd and final round. Starting with that squat curl switch. This third and final round drops to 45, 45, 30. Ready? And go. One racked, one hanging. Squat it. Stand it, curl switch. Squat to stand, curl switch. Good. 45 seconds of work on this third and final round. Get low, drive out of that. Get into those quads all the way to the top. Curl switch, drop. Good, 15 seconds. Curl switch, keeping that dumbbell loaded and apart from that body. 3, 2, 1, stepping it back. 2, reverse lunges. Reverse lunge right, reverse lunge left, into those 2 front raises. Slow and controlled. From those 2 front raises, you're stepping it back into those 2 reverse lunges. 45 seconds, you have 20 seconds to go. Then we go to those overhead marches for 30. Good, find that shoulder height, slow and controlled through those front raises. And switch, overhead marches for 30 seconds. Dumbbell up overhead, driving that knee slow and controlled. Good. Every time you drive that knee, draw that core in. Five seconds. And stop. Nice work. Dumbbell down. Go ahead and grab a drink. We are moving on. The format stays the same this morning. We're just swapping out different exercises. So next group. This first exercise, you are doing a burpee. At the top of that burpee, you have a snatch. Rack it, drop it. Back to that burpee. You're snatching it, other side. So you're alternating that snatch, right, left, in between burpees, okay? Then second exercise, you're grabbing that second dumbbell. We have a bent over row. Stand it, curl it to a little push press. Reverse, drop, bent over row, curl to press. And then our third exercise, our 30 seconds. You are keeping those dumbbells. We are doing weighted bear walks. So you're just doing those weighted bear walks, forward and then back. Modification on that one, you can lose those dumbbells for that bear. If you cannot be on the all fours, you can bring it to the top and go into those overhead marches again. Starting with that burpee snatch. Ready? And go. 60 seconds. Burpee to snatch. Dumbbells in between those feet. We have a burpee. Snatch it to the top, rack it to our shoulder, drop it. Burpee. Snatch, rack, drop. You're alternating sides on that snatch. Every time you drop that dumbbell, you're getting another burpee. Snatch it, rack it. Modification. Step that burpee out. So you can step it out to high plank. Step it in. On that snatch, that dumbbell drives all the way up the front. Then we're flicking that wrist to the top, racking it to our shoulder. You have 10 seconds. Then we grab that second dumbbell. We're going into that row, curl press, and switch. Grab that second dumbbell. Core stays pulled in on that row. We stand it for that hammer curl, little dip for that press. So those dumbbells should be heavy enough where you're having to get that little dip for that press. Drop, belly button pulled in, row it, stand to curl, little dip for that push press. Nice job, you guys. 60 seconds. Row it, curl it, press it, squeeze, stand it, hammer curl to those shoulders, big push press to the top. Core stays engaged. We have 15 seconds and we are down for those weighted bear walks. In 3, 2, 1, you are down. We're in that tabletop position. You can just get those little bear walks. We're going forward, then you're reversing. Good. Again, modifications are to lose those dumbbells and just get those bear walks on those hands, or you can bring it up for those overhead marches. And stop. Nice job. Make your way to your feet. You have 20 seconds to grab a quick drink. Then we are back to the top for that burpee to snatch. All right, back to the top for that burpee snatch. Ready? And go. So single dumbbell between those legs. We have a burpee. Driving that dumbbell up that front. Snatch it to the top. Then we rack it to our shoulder before we drop it. Burpee. Snatch it. Rack it. Drive it up. Rack. Drop it. Burpee. Good. Snatch. Rack. Drop. You've already over halfway there. 60 seconds, continuing to work every single rep. This round is meant to drive that heart rate, to work on that endurance. Keep going. 5 seconds, we grab that second dumbbell and switch. Second dumbbell. We have a bent over row. Squeeze. Stand it to press it. Again, if you're finding the heavy within that row and that curl, you should have to get that little dip through that press. Drop it. Belly button is curled in or pulled in for that row. Stand it before we get that curl. Little dip through that press. Nice job, you guys. Row it. Stand it. Curl press. You're already over halfway there. Drive it up. Stand it. Curl press. Good. 15 seconds. And then we're down for that weighted bear walk for 30. Finishing out round 2. And switch. Weighted bear walk. So you are down. Little step forward with those hands, those dumbbells, as well as those feet. Then you can work your way back. Halfway there already. Nice job. Five seconds. And stop. Dumbbell down. Nice work, you guys. Quick drink. We're back to our third and final round. This round drops to 45 seconds for that burpee snatch, that bent row curl press. Ready? Starting with that burpee snatch and go. 45 seconds. You have that burpee, that dumbbell drives all the way up that front. You flip that wrist at the top for that snatch. Rack it to that shoulder. Back for that next burpee. Good. Again, modification. Step that burpee out to that high plank. Step it in. Snatch. Good. Driving it all the way up that front. Then we flip that wrist to the top and then rack it to that shoulder. 5 seconds. We grab that second dumbbell. and switch. Second dumbbell, bent over row, curl to press, row it, curl it, press it. So if those dumbbells are right, you're gonna need that little dip for that press. Keep that belly button pulled in. Stabilize through that core. Good. Row it. Stand it. Curl it to press it. 10 seconds. Then we go to that weighted bear to finish out this round. And switch. Weighted bear walk. Again, modification, you're just bringing it up for that overhead march again. Drive it. Good. Keeping that belly button pulled in. Dumbbells, walk forward. Then those dumbbells walk back. 5 seconds. And stop. Great job, you guys. Dumbbell down. Bring it to the top. You are getting that quick drink. We are in our third and final group. So you're going to need a set of dumbbells that are going to be right for that upright row over the fence. And then also maybe a heavier one for dumbbell swings, okay? So our first 60 seconds, we have one upright row. At the bottom, we have a shoulder shrug. Then we rotate. So those dumbbells are in front of us for that upright row. Slow and controlled, we slightly rotate for that shoulder shrug, release, rotate them back to front. Second 60 seconds, you have an over the fence. At the top of that over the fence, you have a calf raise. You're up to those calves, dropping it over, up for that calf raise. And then our 30 seconds, you have dumbbell swings. You're just alternating that hand switch for those swings. Starting with that upright row to shoulder shrug, ready, and go. So dumbbells, drive up the front of that body, leading with those elbows. Slow on that release, slight rotation to that side, shoulder shrug, completely relax, back to that upright row. So this group, slow and controlled. So I rotate those dumbbells back to front, lead with those elbows, upright row, slight rotation to the side for that shoulder shrug. Making sure on that shoulder shrug, you are completely relaxing those shoulders before you get into that next upright row. You have 15 seconds. Then we're dropping it to that over the fence to calf raise for 60 seconds. You have 5 seconds, then we switch and switch over the fence. At the top, we're getting that calf raise. Soft bend through those legs. Core, belly button is staying pulled in. We have a nice flat back. Those shoulders are not rounded forward. We're slightly getting that pinch through that back side. Dropping it over the fence. Nice flat back, up to that calf raise. Good. So over the fence, all the way up to those toes for that calf raise. Getting that slight hold at the top. Slight hold on that calf raise. Release. Back to that over the fence. Good. Again, belly button stays pulled in. Keeping those shoulders down and back. We're not slumping, arching those shoulders forward. From here, we go to those dumbbell swings and switch. Dumbbell swings for 30 seconds. So those hips shift back. Then we drive them forward. Everything's happening through that lower body. Drop it, shift it, drive it. Getting that switch. Good. 30 seconds. You have 5 seconds to go. and stop. Dumbbell down. Quick drink if you need one. We are back to that upright row, to that shoulder shrug, starting round 2. Go ahead and load those dumbbells up. Ready? And go. Dumbbells start in front of that body. Drive those elbows up. Slow and control on that release. Rotate those dumbbells for that shoulder shrug. Rotate them back to front. Upright row. Good. Rotate. Shoulder shrug. Again, not rushing the lift. Slow and controlled. Back to front. Upright row. Slow and controlled. Rotate for that shoulder shrug. Completely relaxing those shoulders before we get that rotation into that next upright row. Good. Those elbows drive that move. Dumbbells stay close to that body. And switch over the fence. Stand it to calf raise. Soft bend through those legs. Core stays pulled in. Slight pinch through those shoulder blades, keeping those shoulders back. You will feel a difference in that range of motion, that depth of that drop. If you do those little things, squeezing through that back side, those hamstrings into those glutes on that stand. Then we're up to those tiptoes. Slight hold at the top. Getting into that calf raise. 15 seconds. Then we go to those dumbbell swings. Switching in 3, 2, 1. Dumbbell swings. Again, shift those hips back. Drive them forward. Switching that dumbbell at the top. Shift it. Drive it forward. Good. 30 seconds. 20 seconds down. You have 10 seconds to go. And stop. Dumbbell down. You have 20 seconds off, and then we're back for our third and final round. Those 60-second exercises drop to 45. Starting with that upright row to shoulder shrug. Go ahead and load up those dumbbells. Ready? And go. Upright row to shoulder shrug. Dumbbells start in front. Upright row. Slight rotation for that shoulder shrug. Back to the front. Drive it up. Good. Again, slow and controlled. Drive it. Rotate. Shrug. Completely release out of that shrug before we get into that next upright row. 5 seconds, and we switch, going into that over the fence to calf raise, and switch. Soft bend. Drop it over the fence. At the top, we're up to those toes. Slight hold at the top. Dropping it over the fence. Up to those toes for that calf raise. 45 seconds. We've already knocked out 20. Good. You have 15 seconds to go, and then we're finishing with those dumbbell swings. Nice job, you guys. And switch. Dumbbell swings to finish out 30 seconds. Shift those hips back. Drop that dumbbell through. Using those hips to thrust forward. Driving that dumbbell to the top, getting that switch, keeping that back nice and flat. 10 seconds to go. And stop. All right, that is it for total body today, you guys. Way to work. If you are sticking around for non-impact cardio, I'm just gonna get that video switched. Have a great day.